Madam President, we are faced with a resolution today to essentially repeal a rule that after 20 years in the making is about to go into effect. It would stop EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, from implementing the first ever national mercury and air toxic standards for power plants. Now, a little bit later, I'll talk about what mercury does to people. And let me assure you, it's not good. I will also talk about the other toxics that are emitted in these dirty plants. They're not good either. When I mention them, just the names will scare you because they are names like arsenic and formaldehyde, not good. And they're going into our lungs. And the mercury is getting into the fish. And people are getting sick. That is why this is such a dangerous moment if we were to pass this and stop the EPA from doing this. Because we know for every $3 that we invest, every 1 to 3, we are going to get back $9 in health benefits. So if you do the math and you follow the math, it's clear that this is cost-effective, critically important. Just ask a parent who has a child who is rushed to the emergency room with asthma whether they want this done. Just ask a utility, a coal-fired utility, that has made these improvements already, half of them have, and they'll tell you it hardly had any impact on electricity prices, and they're happy with it. So if this resolution were to pass and the policy behind it were to pass, it means that instead of rewarding those coal-fired utilities who are doing the right thing, we are rewarding those who haven't done the right thing and continue to spew forth these toxins. What is at stake? What is at stake? And I ask you rhetorically, I say to the people who may be listening to this, who do you trust more? Senators, politicians, or physicians, or the nurses? I think you should trust on these numbers the professionals who have looked at this. If this resolution were to pass and EPA is blocked from implementing this new clean air standard, we will see up to 11,000 additional premature deaths, 4,700 heart attacks, 130,000 cases of childhood asthma, 6,300 cases of acute bronchitis among children, 5,700 emergency room visits, 540,000 days of missed work. And again, the rule provides $3 to $9 in benefits for every dollar that is invested. Now, you're going to hear other things from the opponents of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, but the people of America are smart. They were just asked 2 months ago if they want us to interfere with the Environmental Protection Agency as they clean up the air, clean up the mercury, clean up the toxic soot. And they said by 78%, stay out of it, politicians, and let the Environmental Protection Agency do its job. We should thank the coal companies who have already cleaned up their act, not reward those who have delayed cleaning up their act. And again, you'll hear all kinds of horror stories. Just ask the utilities that have made these improvements. We have a list of them somewhere, but let me tell you that you will also hear that there'll be lost jobs from this rule. When we know now there'll be 46,000 short-term construction jobs as these plants become clean and 8,000 long-term jobs. Now look at the utilities who oppose the Inhofe CRA. Austin Energy, Avista Corporation, Calpine Corporation, Constellation Energy, Exelon, National Grid, Next Extra Energy, NYPA, Public Service Enterprise Group, and Seattle City Light. Some of these have coal-fired power plants, okay? And they say, what are you doing? Let's keep moving toward clean energy. I asked you, do you trust politicians or do you trust those who I believe are unquestionably character witnesses in this debate? Let's see some of them who oppose what Senator Inhofe is trying to do today. The Catholic Health Association of the U.S., Evangelical Environmental Network, Franciscan Action Network, General Baptist Convention, General Conference of American Rabbis, National Council of Churches USA, United Church of Christ Justice and Witness Ministries, United Methodist Church, U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, okay? That's who oppose what my friends on the other side are leading us to today, a repeal of clean air rules. Who do you trust, the politicians or some of these groups who strongly oppose this resolution? The American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Association of Respiratory Care, the American Heart Association, the Lung Association, the Nurses Association, the Public Health Association, the March of Dimes, the Physicians for Social Responsibility, and Trust for America's Health.
The senators consume 6 minutes.
I would ask for another 2 minutes, and then I will yield and retain the balance. Here's the chart I wanted to show you on electricity prices. You've heard gloom and doom. Here are the facts. There was hardly any fluctuation in utility rates when half of the coal-fired plants made these improvements. Do not fall for scare tactics, because we know upgrading a utility is something that's got to be done. And it's built into the long-term plans of these utilities. Now, what poisonous emissions does this clean air rule address? I talked about it before, and in the balance of my time, I'll go through it again. But I'm going to just name these toxins: mercury and lead, arsenic, selenium, cadmium, chromium, benzene, formaldehyde, acid gases, toxic soot pollution. Now, all you need to do is just listen to what I said, and you know you don't want to breathe this in. And you don't want to have fish that contains too much mercury, because it damages the nervous system of children and harms the brains of infants. And we know how dangerous it is for pregnant women and children to eat this type of fish. Last night we had Senator Whitehouse here from Rhode Island, and he was eloquent on the point. He had a picture, it was actually a Norman Rockwell painting. It wasn't a real painting, it was a wonderful poster. And he said, here's a perfect American scene of a grandpa taking a grandson fishing. He says today, in his state, they can't really eat the fish. Maybe they can once a month eat one fish. And in some of their lakes, they can't even eat any. This is wrong. This is pollution blowing from other places into the Northeast. Let's defeat this resolution. It's bad for the people of this country. I yield the floor, retain the balance of my time.